especially if you're rowing across the ocean with some French-speaking person. That's got to be a long row.
It's a great atmosphere inside the Spokane Arena tonight for the opening ceremonies of the 2009 National Veterans Wheelchair Games. The fans are on their feet. They're cheering on all these athletes who are coming into the Spokane Arena for the parade of athletes, waving flags. They're shaking noisemakers. They're even throwing around some balloons. One of those actually flew over, hit Ben in the face not too long ago. But it's all a part of this great atmosphere that we've got going on. And when those games start tomorrow, it's just going to get even better as this week goes along, I'd have to think.
I think we're Ohio in the O's, and I don't think anyone has sat down in the arena yet. Everyone's been standing the whole time, waving around noisemakers.
Pennsylvania, the latest state to come into the Spokane Arena here during the parade of athletes. One athlete we're going to be keeping our eye on from Pennsylvania is Gary Orlando. This year will be the 10th year that Gary has competed in the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. His favorite event is 9-ball.
In 2011, the National Veterans Wheelchair Games will again be held in Pittsburgh.
So as far as the bands are concerned, what usually is the event that has the most fanfare and most watched event?
Well, I think the basketball is probably the one that has the most attendance. It's a sport that most people, even if you're not in a wheelchair, you're most familiar with. You know the rules. Some of the other sports like rugby, they start to become a little more obscure, but there's no doubt who comes across the finish line in track. There's no doubt who shot the ball through the net. Everybody can relate to that. You know, these games are going for 5 days, so there's plenty to choose from. And again, if you guys go to, if our viewers will go to wheelchairgames.va.gov, you learn a lot more about the event.
And also for fans to watch it, it's great. The city of Spokane and with the Department of Veteran Affairs and the Paralyzed Veterans of America, all these events are free to the public.
That's right.
It really helps, you know, being able for people in Spokane to come out and watch and get a taste of some sports they probably haven't seen before.
That's right. Also, I want to let you know that the Paralyzed Veterans of America is a private organization. We receive no federal funding. So you got the Paralyzed Veterans of America, which is a private organization working with a very large government entity. And this very cordial relationship has been going on for 29 years.
Tennessee now arriving into the Spokane Arena as the parade of athletes continues. And this crowd of veteran athletes just keeps getting larger and larger. Just a few minutes ago, we were alone here on the arena floor by ourselves, just talking about what it's going to be like. All of a sudden, we find ourselves surrounded now by the sea of athletes, and it's just a great feeling right now inside the arena from all around us.
Coming in as big as
Everyone's, you know, in wheelchairs, but everyone have different types of disabilities. Some are worse than others. Some have, you know, been amputated. Some have no movement in their arms. But they're all here. They all can compete, and it's a great event that you know, no bars hold. Anyone can compete, and something that makes it so easy is some of the classification systems they have. Soccer has that. Basketball has that. Rugby, where each athlete is rated on a classification system going from 0.5 up to 4, alright? 0.5 classification system.
Pardon me?
The classification system for so like rugby.
Rugby, you've got up to 3.5. So it really depends on what your disability is. I'm sorry, it's really loud in here. Yeah. A lot of people are cheering for their favorite teams, but yeah, what happens is you get classified according to what your disability is. The more disabled you are, the lower your score is. That way, you can have an equal balance of ability on the court at the same time.
Please welcome
That way you don't have a bunch of people that have
the Beehive.
a whole lot more ability on the court at the same time as you have a team full of people that have less ability, and it makes it more fair that way.
For people out there who may be watching their first National Veterans Wheelchair Games this year, what would you say to them that would maybe encompass what these games are all about? For people who maybe haven't watched these games before.
Well, it's really about the veterans coming back together. Like we talked about the camaraderie earlier. And I'm looking at the audience, or not the audience, but the field of athletes right now. I'm seeing some guys that have competed in the Paralympics way back in the 1960s and 70s. Some guys from World War II, some Korean War veterans. It's really neat to see those guys congeal with some of the veterans that are coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan.
So when you have athletes who have competed in here for a long time and athletes who maybe are doing something for the first time, what is the relationship like between those different types of people?
I think what brings everybody together is their service to their country. That's what they all, I don't know if you're born with it or it's something that happens later in life, but whatever, whenever you get it, you got it, and it's something you're gonna live with for the rest of your life. And it's that common bond that creates this.
USA chants get starting, and people coming out, state by state. But remember, these are veterans representing the country.
The Badger State.
Virginia coming now into the Spokane Arena as we are nearing the end of the parade of athletes here at the opening ceremonies of the National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Now followed by Wisconsin up next.
Interesting story out of Wisconsin. Russell Worth, World War II veteran, 85 years old. This is his first time in Washington since he was stationed here during World War II. His 17th consecutive year attending the games. And since his accident hasn't slowed him down, he tried parasailing, even tried to learn how to ski through the National Disabled Veteran Winter Sports Clinic.
Russell Worth, a guy who makes the most of the situation that he's in at any sort of event. At one recent event, he received a special award to recognize his determination, stamina, and tremendous spirit. 85 years old,
to Washington,
competing in the games this year.
That crowd get loud, that's Washington getting announced right now. 41 athletes from the state of Washington. You mentioned earlier, first time Washington's hosted the event since 1996 when Seattle hosted it.
I want to thank the local VA hospital and the local chapter of the PVA. It takes a lot of work to put these games on. Unfortunately, I was part of the PVA when they did the games in San Diego in '97. I know how much work it takes to put this event on. I also want to thank the sponsors. We have certain national sponsors, we also have local sponsors, and I think sponsors get what this event's all about. You'll see that a lot of these sponsors come in kind of naive, but once they get it, they're here for 20, 30 years.
One of the great things I've noticed from the sponsors and the volunteers is that when they do come in to help out with the games, to make it possible, they know that they're going to be getting into a situation where there's a lot of work to be done, but it seems like every single one of them is doing it gladly. There's not one person without a smile on their face. They know what they're doing, they love what they're doing, because they're making it possible for these events to take place. That's what I've noticed.
There's a lot of volunteers you don't see. I'm thinking about UPS. UPS has been with us for a very long time, and the logistics of getting all these athletes and all this equipment to someone's hotel room across the country, it's amazing. UPS even stepped in during the Paralympics because the U.S. Paralympic Committee realized the value of UPS during the Veterans Games and said, heck, these guys are experts, let's use them.
We're now seeing the athletes from Washington walk right in front of us. And of course, that's who all these fans, well, at least most of them, are cheering on today, the local people from Washington.